just reached MRN by Hercules Tires. Your patience while holding is appreciated. Our representatives are working hard to get you closer to the guys on top of the pit boxes, over the wall, and on your radio dial. Thank you for holding. You are now being connected to your hosts, Tony Rizzuti and Kit Cruz.
Hi again and welcome to MRN Crew Call, better late than never. We are presented by Hercules Tires. By the way, it's STP week. Excited, yeah, Darlington Throwback Weekend.
Should I have
Bojangles Southern 500.
Prepared? What should I have done?
You just need the additives, man.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, a little Ultra 5-in-1 fuel cleaner.
I'll take some of that.
Absolutely.
I'll get some at lunchtime, my lunch break.
As I mentioned, I am Tony Rizzuti, and I'm joined by a guy who reminded me that after Tuesday, and it fits today, even the calendar goes WTF.
Okay.
Is that appropriate?
Sure.
Sure. Why
Sure.
not? That's Kid
Yeah.
Cruz right there. There he is. He's looking for followers.
Hello, yeah, please follow me. Will you? Won't you?
As always, you can join the conversation. It's backwards here for us. You can tweet us at MRN Radio is how you get to us. Use the hashtag AskMRN. That's how we find the questions. We also have the fan forum hotline. That is 1-844-4-ASK-MRN. We always love to hear your feedback. Listen to them here. We pass them along to the proper people. Fun show today because we're going to catch up with the Godfather.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, Dave
time.
Moody,
Dave Moody.
MRN announcer, Sirius XM Speedway. We're going to check in with the Godfather, get his thoughts on Throwback Weekend, and a lot of news. Like not super breaking news, but really cool news out there. So we'll get his thoughts on that. I want to get your thoughts on them as well. I brought the old MRN iPad machine.
I thought it was like a cheat sheet. You have
No.
everything written out you're going to talk about
Yeah,
there?
we're going to talk some of the topics going because I
Okay.
think there's some cool things that are worth debating
Okay.
this week and talking
Okay.
about. So a lot of fun with that. And then we'll do 5 on 5 off. As always, you're back on a roll. So we'll see if we can continue that with Dave Moody today. That'll be a lot of fun. Hey, it's time to check out this week's crew cut. And if you're in, I love saying this, Walla Walla, Washington, he'll be singing, "Would You Go With Me?"
Wow.
How was that?
Wow.
Tell us
You were
what's
getting
new
down
with Josh
into the
Turner.
deep
He's our old
register
friend.
there of Josh Turner. Yeah.
If
Have you
we
ever been to
walk
Walla
through
Walla, Washington?
roads of fire.
We're going to start doing
I've never been.
karaoke? I've never been. Well, you know, he's a good old Southern boy. We're going to talk to him more on NASCAR USA this weekend. He's from South Carolina. He grew up a fan of Cale Yarborough, Bill Elliott. Robbie Mays won't like this, but he likes to talk about his championship football team, the Clemson Tigers. And oh yeah, he likes hunting and fishing too. So I caught up with Josh Turner and I said, dude, what was the last thing you shot? And then he talks about shooting a boar and catching a fish and giving it to his grandmother. I think we had a little technical difficulty there, but maybe we'll bring him back later in the show.
I like Josh.
You do?
Yeah, good dude. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
his music. I like that deep voice. It's something, you know, when we talked about this, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago when we mentioned bro country, right? There's a lot of country music that doesn't sound like country music now, and that's
Yeah.
fine, right?
Yeah.
There's a genre for everybody,
Yeah.
but kind of all the female singers, the real popular ones kind of sound alike. Some of the bro country sounds alike. You hear a Josh Turner song, you know you're getting
listening.
Josh Turner,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, yep.
Good old country music, good dude. And we'll have more of that. NASCAR USA, right? You didn't get to hear the cut today,
No.
but if you tune into NASCAR
You can
USA,
hear all about it. All that radio gold, all that fun conversation with Josh that you were hoping for, you'll hear it on the radio this weekend. NASCAR USA is our country radio show. We have it on stations all across the country. Just go to MRN.com and at the top click on the stations tab. You can actually find a radio station near you and hear more with me and your buddy Josh Turner. And by the way, in a couple of weeks, are you going to go to the track? You're going to be at Chicagoland? He's doing a concert. He's
You
doing
know
it
I'll be there.
that weekend. I'll be doing a little pre-race
Windy
show.
City?
Go see Josh at Chicagoland Speedway.
Robbie's looking at me. He's like, "No, you're not going. I'm going."
Oh,
That's right.
okay.
Robbie will be there. He'll take
Yeah.
video of it. Send it back to us. Speaking of gold, this is like podcast gold, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
It's like podcast gold, this show.
Oh, podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Late to start, but our technical difficulty. Let's hear from Josh. I want to hear this story about Josh.
All right, I think
Play
Josh
it,
was
Daryl.
in the restroom. But Josh, what was the last thing you shot when you were out hunting?
The hog that I shot in California, it was about a 300-pound hog. It's on my wall now, and the rest of it I ate, and it was awesome.
Oh, you have a heck of a smoker. What'd you do? How'd you break it down?
The one thing a lot of people don't realize is like wild hogs, get bacon from those because those suckers are way too lean and in shape. You know, they're not like farm pigs that just waller around in the mud. You know, we had a lot of sausage and stuff like that. So.
All right. So what's the last thing you caught fishing?
It's been a while since I fished, but went back to South Carolina and just kind of did some, freshwater pan fishing, bass fishing, all that kind of stuff. So I think the last, batch of fish that I caught, I ended up taking them to my grandmama and giving them to her because she loves fresh fish. There's
that golden voice of Josh Turner you were talking about impersonating so well. When was the last time you caught a fish for your grandmother?
I don't know that I've ever caught a fish for my grandmother. My son and I went fishing last week.
What'd you catch?
3 different times. We didn't catch anything. Caught a log. Lost a lure.
True.
Do you find when you interview Josh or around Josh that the more you talk to him, the more you start to dive down into that?
Well, no.
It's kind of hard not to, isn't it, a little?
No, I can't do it. I can't get that low. You just kind of feel inferior, and you think that's bad. Try talking to Trace Atkins. It's even worse. It's even deeper than that, but much slower.
Yeah.
Really intimidating.
Good stuff. All right, we got to take our first break here on Crew Call. When we return, we're going to talk about some of the big topics of the day. One driver is changing numbers. We'll talk about that when we return here on MRN Crew Call.
I'm Steve Letarte, STP auto expert and former crew chief. I know what it takes to keep engines performing at their best. STP's latest breakthrough additive, STP Ultra 5-in-1 plus Fuel System Cleaner plus Fuel Stabilizer delivers 3 times the amount of cleaning agents versus premium gasoline and helps keep fuel fresh during storage. For over 60 years, STP has been on the cutting edge developing products to help engines run better, longer.
One bottle contains 3 times by weight the amount of cleaning agents compared to 20 gallons of the leading premium gasoline.
Need auto parts? Get them with a click at the new O'ReillyAuto.com. Shop online and we'll ship the order to your home, or you can pick it up for free at the O'Reilly Auto Parts store nearest you. The choice is yours. Shop the way that's convenient for you and get the exact parts you need to get the job done right. O'ReillyAuto.com. Parts for your car wherever you are.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, Danica Patrick here. When I have friends and guests at the track who want to hear me drop pearls of wisdom during the race, I send them to Racing Electronics.
You right back there?
I think so. I didn't, other than hitting a car, I didn't hit anything, but there's a tire down or something.
If you aren't listening to all the action live, you're missing out. Don't forget to rent a scanner or fan vision for the races. Go to racingelectronics.com to pre-rent for great discounts on your scanner and fan vision rentals.
You've reached MRN Crew Call. This show may be monitored for quality assurance. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. This show may be monitored for quality assurance and training. I can't do it. I just can't. Here's Tony and Kid.
Welcome back to the old program. We were actually chuckling during the break. Kid's got some humor today.
Are you laughing at me or with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll take that. That's fine.
Hey, we talked about some of the big news that happened over the last couple of days. If you go to MRN.com, we got all the stories right there. But one of the big ones that broke last night, Kid.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott switching from the 24 to the family number 9. That'll mean William Byron, or Brian, as I like to call him from time to time, will go to the 24. What are your thoughts on the Elliott family bringing the 9 back in-house over at Hendrick?
I'm honestly not that excited. Is it bad that I'm not really excited about that?
Oh, I don't think it's bad.
I just don't appreciate the shuffling so quickly of the numbers, right? I'm like a Blaney fan this year, so I go buy the 21 gear, now I got to buy the 12. I'm a Chase Elliott guy. I loved him replacing Jeff Gordon. Now it's, now we're going to do the switcheroo and you're going to the 9. Is that bad?
No, I don't.
Am I going to be blackballed off the show?
No, I don't think that's bad. I think that's a great take on that. I guess my take on it was interesting is when you think about the pressure that Dale Earnhardt Jr. was under, just his father's shadow, he avoided the 3 as much as he could. Like, he never wanted to really be associated with paint schemes of his dad's.
Right.
He did do the Wrangler one at one time. You know, the 3, once his dad passed, there's just so much pressure. I don't get that feeling with Chase. Now, maybe it's because his father's still alive and part of his life.
I'm sure that has a lot
that's one of the things I want to ask Dave about. But he seems to welcome it. Like, there's no real pressure that, hey, I'm going to drive, my dad's a Hall of Famer, I'm going to drive the 9 and I have to live up to it. I think it's more like, I'm going to have fun with this, I'm going to be in the 9. I think it's pretty cool. And I think for William Byron, who the 9 doesn't really mean much, sure, that's what he ran in the Xfinity Series, he's run it in a truck before, but now to get that 24, to me, he fit more of the Gordon fan club.
I
than
agree
maybe
with
a
you there.
Chase
I like
Elliott.
that move a lot. And that means the 24 is going to start winning again. So I'm very excited about that.
You're excited about this kid. You think he's the real deal,
William
don't you?
Byron?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, didn't you watch what he did in the Truck Series? I mean, he seemingly came out of nowhere and just started ripping off win after win after win. Very exciting to watch.
Yeah, and he had that incredible run at Michigan where he came up second to Denny Hamlin. Then he was able to win in Indianapolis.
Some folks feel he's a little too aggressive out there.
That's okay.
Is he too?
Jeff Gordon was
he,
way too aggressive as a rookie as well.
Is he? Yes. Oh, that's going to be my question. Is he too young to be that aggressive out on the track? I like the way he races.
You kind of teased my second one, and that's around Paul Menard and when you talk about Ryan Blaney. So news comes out that Menards is going to sponsor the 12 car of Blaney for 14 races. Motorcraft is coming back to the 21 car with Menard for 14 races. I mean, are we going to run into a thing where we won't know which one's Menard and which one? Like, I think I'm going to have a really hard time not thinking Blaney's back in the 21 when I see Menard's on it sometimes, but then sometimes on his on the. I'm a little bit. That's the one I'm confused
seriously
about.
Battle with dyslexia. You're
I
like,
do.
Is it the 12, the 21? Am
Yeah.
I watching? Who am I cheering on here?
That's the one to me that's a little bit funky. That's going to be wild. I'm glad there's good sponsorship for both cars, but I got so used to Blaney being that 21.
I know
that it'll be confusing to me. I think.
Fit for that 21. He was such a perfect fit for that 21. But I really dig him being over there with Logano and Keselowski, don't you?
Well,
I mean, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome too. I think what's interesting is the fact that that 21 car is a satellite car for Penske now with the Wood brothers. If I were to say over the last 10 races, who's been the strongest car in that fold? Would it be the 2 of Keselowski, the 22 of Logano, or the 21 of Blaney?
It's the 20.
It's the 21 of Blaney.
21, yeah, 21, and then Keselowski second, and Logano's got to do something.
Why would the out-of-house car be faster than the in-house cars?
Why
is
is
it Blaney?
the 78 better than any of the Gibbs cars?
That's a
It's the
great
same
question.
thing.
We won't be able to
the
answer
78
that.
and the 77 are better than most of the Gibbs cars performance-wise this season, which is just mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling.
How has that happened?
It's made for a fun season. The last story we kind of wanted to talk on was Pete Pistone had an opinion column today about this just being the right time for the throwback races, right? We're going into fall, we're going into the playoffs, we're going to a classic track. It feels like this era, kind of that 85 to 89 era, just feels right to a lot of people. Maybe it's our age because he and I we're all kind of in that same, late 30s to late 40s time frame where this was kind of the heyday. What are your thoughts on this particular time period for the throwback race, as well as where it kind of falls in the season and where it happens to be at, being Darlington?
Well, I love the throwback weekend at Darlington. I do really dig it. I guess I'll try and answer your question first and then get into some of my other thoughts. The 85, what is it, the 85,
I think it's 85 to
89 era, I dig that, right? That's when we were kids, we were growing up. But personally, I prefer it maybe a little bit older. If I'm throwing back, I'd like to throw like way back, which we did when it first started, which is the fourth year now. But how long, and what do you get? You don't have every car doing a full-on throwback scheme. So maybe
what are your thoughts on that? Like, a lot of the teams go with I'm going to do a tribute car to a car that raced there, and then other people are going to go, I'm going to go back to what my brand was at that era. Which do you prefer?
How many schemes, how long can you carry this on? Do you go 5 years? Do you take a break and then bring it back a few years after? You don't want to burn it out? There are some that are really, really good. Like the 2 looks awesome. The 3, I think, looks awesome. The 4 and the 5, I'm not just going in numerical order. I just happen to really
I really like
those.
that 6 car.
No,
man, the 7
actually,
is
to
sharp.
bring that up, I think the 6, you just change the font of the number and it's a throwback scheme. That looks like that's about all they did. So let's change the font of the number and now we're a throwback car.
What about
some
the
of them,
17?
Some of them kind of, the 17's
Robbie
okay.
Mays here in the
okay.
building's not thrilled with the 17.
The 6 is the 24 is the 88, it's okay. Some of them are stretching it a little bit. Some of them don't do too much, but when you look at some of those earlier numbers that I mentioned, even the 13, I like the 55. You can go to MRN.com and actually pull up all the schemes and see what we're talking about. They're all laid out there for you. There's some that are really cool and a couple that just it seems like they're stretching it a little bit. So how long can you carry this on? Do you go 5 years? Do you take a break and bring it back a few years later? What do you do with that? Do you take it to another track? I don't think you take it to another track. I don't think it fits in well at another track, do you?
No. Well, let's ask the fans. Give us your feedback. Follow us at MRN Radio. Use the hashtag AskMRN. You can go to the website, read the stories, give us your feedback. We want to know what you think about those topics we just covered. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, Dave Moody on the line. We'll ask him what he thinks when we return here on MRN Crew Call.
While the best drivers in the world fire up their engines, it's time for you and the family to fire up the grill. Creekstone Farms has the most tender and highest quality premium Black Angus beef in the country and are offering one of their juiciest deals of the year this July. Race over to CreekstoneFarms.com now and use promo code MRN Burgers to get a box of 6 delicious burgers free when you place an order of $100 or more. That's promo code MRN Burgers at CreekstoneFarms.com to get your box of burgers for free today.
When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're smart, got your own trucking business, making it happen. What if I told you there is a place online where you could connect with other smart owner-operators just like you? It's an online community called Team Run Smart, where people share advice on truck maintenance, fuel savings, healthy habits on the road, and so much more, all to make your business more profitable. And it's all free. Visit TeamRunSmart.com today to check it out. You'll be glad you did. TeamRunSmart.com, brought to you by Freightliner Trucks.
Thank you for listening to our program. If you like what you hear, tell your friends. If you don't, tell them we're Winged Nation. You're being transferred back to Tony and Kid.
With the morning we've had, welcome back to Wing Nation. Kid Cruz, Tony Rizzuti. Hasn't exactly been technically flawless today,
A couple
has
of
it?
technical difficulties. It's one of those things.
But
We'll
the
blame
guy
it
on the
weather.
phone is going to bail us out. I know
do
he
it.
is. He's the godfather of motorsports. He's MRN announcer and the host of SiriusXM's Sirius Speedway, heard every Monday through Friday. He is Dave Moody. Hi, Dave.
Hi, boys. A whole different kind of difficulty coming your way now. You're stuck with me.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Hey, let's start with the thing that Kid and I were just talking about, and that was the announcement last night at Hendrick Motorsports that Chase Elliott will switch from the 24 over to the 9. I know to some people, taking on the family number, and especially one of a Hall of Fame driver like Bill Elliott, would bring with it a lot of pressure. But I get the feeling with Chase, this is actually just going to be a lot of fun. What was your take on that?
Well, I think that's exactly right. And, stepping into the iconic number 9 that his father drove does carry a bit of pressure with it, but so does stepping into the iconic number 24 that Jeff Gordon drove, and it hasn't seemed to bother him all that much. So I think this is it's a win-win deal for everybody. It's difficult, I know, for Mr. H, for Rick Hendrick, to at least temporarily put aside the number 5 car that's been their flagship car. I mean, it was the start way back then when it was All-Star Racing instead of Hendrick Motorsports. So I know there's a little tug on the heartstrings there for Mr. H, but putting Chase Elliott in a number 9 car, that's a win-win for everybody.
Hey, Dave, what's your take on the silly season, as they call it, right? So is this the craziest you've seen it this early in the year? We talk about Menard and Blaney and Chase all in different numbers now. No sign of or talk of the return of Carl Edwards or Greg Biffle. You got Matt Kenseth and Kurt Busch hanging out there, not locked in for next year. NASCAR is becoming as crazy as the radio business, I think.
Yeah, well, almost that bad. Yeah, you're right about that. It may not be the craziest silly season ever, but it's certainly the earliest. Some of us, of a certain age, I'm way older than you boys, but some of us of a certain age remember when silly season busted out about mid-September and lasted all the way to the end of October. Now it begins in early June, and I'm not sure it ever really stops. I think it may just cycle around 365 and start over again. But you're right. There are still a lot of big names without rides, a lot of big rides without names, still a lot of questions to be answered for next year.
Lots of questions to be answered. And Dave, this is the time of year where we start to say, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, they're just not showing the speed. I just don't see him as a championship contender. And just about every year they prove us wrong. So Let me ask you, are you buying the 48 of Jimmy Johnson as of today as an 8-time champion at the end of the year, or are you selling the 48?
I'm selling, but I would have sold last year too.
Yeah, me too.
When it came to their chances to be a 7-time champion. Listen, the numbers are very plain. Since Jimmy Johnson won at Dover in early June, that's an 11-race span. They have an average finish during that span of 23 point something. That's not Jimmy Johnson. That's not Chad Knaus. That's not Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick right now, they are not the belle of the ball. You know, they're not the monster in the room. They're struggling to keep up. And with all that said, Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus have always found a way to rally the troops and to get things pointed back in the right direction and to go from mediocre to spectacular come playoff time. So I expect in the next couple of 3 weeks to see an uptick in performance from that race team, but I won't necessarily be surprised if we don't.
So speaking of the playoffs, 2 races to go, then we're going to be diving into the NASCAR playoffs. The top 16, any chance of a real surprise getting in there? Is it pretty much set? I mean, do you have those last few slots left among, 3 or 4 guys? Is that about all you got?
Historically speaking, what we have at this point of the season is usually what we end up with. But there have been along the way a couple of surprises. You know, there has been, the first year of the chase, Jeremy Mayfield winning at Richmond to cement himself a spot in the playoffs that wasn't going to come any other way. Joey Logano hopes to be the Jeremy Mayfield of 2017 because he's in that same boat. Yeah. The only way he's going to play for a championship this year is to win one of the next 2 races. Clint Boyer's likely in that same position. Dale Earnhardt Jr. likely in that same position. So there are still some very good race teams capable of winning out there that haven't managed to ring the bell yet. And to say that they're getting a little desperate right about now would be a dramatic understatement.
Oh, I'd love to see like Eric Jones or Daniel Suarez, wouldn't you? Wouldn't that be something? Yeah.
It'd be tremendous, and the fact that Joey Logano still is in the position he's in is amazing to me. But remember, he won. It was encumbered, but he won in Richmond in the spring, may have a chance to do it in the fall. I think that's his best shot. All right, Dave, we're going to put you on hold. We're going to play the old trivia game. This one, I think you guys have a chance. I went a little easier on you guys. I'll give you the category. It's throwbacks. We'll play 5 on 5 off when we return here on MRN Crew Call.
I'm Steve Letarte, STP auto expert and former crew chief. I know what it takes to keep engines performing at their best. STP's latest breakthrough additive, STP Ultra 5-in-1 plus Fuel System Cleaner plus Fuel Stabilizer, delivers 3 times the amount of cleaning agents versus premium gasoline and helps keep fuel fresh during storage. For over 60 years, STP has been on the cutting edge developing products to help engines run better, longer.
1 bottle contains 3 times by weight the amount of cleaning agents compared to 20 gallons of the leading premium gasoline.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
So what are your favorite drivers really thinking? We'll tell you each weekday on NASCAR Today, midday.
Getting married has been incredible. I wish I had figured all this out sooner.
Get the latest news from the sport and the opinions of NASCAR's biggest stars.
Changing over to Ford will open up some opportunities and possibilities and some just pure potential for the team.
That's NASCAR Today, midday. Weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
Time now for Motor Racing Network's #1 game show. The game where MRN talent prove their mettle against the unshakable Kid Cruz to see if they've truly earned the right to sit atop the pit box or if they're simply a tool. It's 5 on, 5 off on MRN Crew Call.
Welcome back to our STP Week edition of 5 on 5 off. And, Labor Day, people start shutting down pools. I've never understood that here in the South. Our pool shuts down on Labor Day.
Yeah.
We got warm weather into October.
No.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know, just
I think the lifeguards have to go back to college. So we're shutting down the pools. That means it's the last time to kind of get the family together and have a burger and hot dog cook-off That means Creekstone Farms, your final chance to get this great deal. If you speed over to creekstonefarms.com today and use the promo code MRN Burgers to get a box of 6 tender premium burgers for free when you place an order of $100 or more. Visit creekstonefarms.com. Use the promo code MRN Burgers to get your delicious free burgers today. I promise you that's what I'm doing this weekend. Firing up that grill, getting the burgers, putting on a little music, get the race going.
I expect to see some photos on Instagram
You
or
got
some
it.
tweets.
Going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's play the game. We got Dave on hold. The category is throwbacks. Robbie Mays is going to put 45 seconds on the board. And Kid Cruz, your time starts right now. Awesome Bill became $1 Million Bill when he grabbed the RJR bonus cash by winning the Southern 500 in what year?
89.
What was Bobby Hill and Jr.'s car number when he won at Talladega in 1986?
32.
The popular show Antiques Roadshow began in what year?
That started in 95.
Houston Astros Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan wore what jersey number?
3. I have no idea.
And Mario Andretti won how many Formula One races?
1.
There we go. 3 seconds to spare. 3 for
no
Dale.
clue. I'm going to get these.
You are going to get crushed.
I'm going to get crushed
You
by
are
Dave
going to
Moody.
get
This
crushed.
is ridiculous.
Moody may run the table. Hi, Dave.
Hi, boys.
This is ridiculous. They're all racing questions, dude. I'm toast.
The proverbial the door is wide open here for you is quite appropriate. We're going to put 45 seconds on the clock. Remember, it's going to be a number answer, so get as close as you can. Whoever's closest, whether it's higher or lower, wins the game. 45 seconds on the clock. You ready to go?
Ready.
All right, your time starts right now. Awesome Bill became $1 Million Bill when he grabbed the RGR bonus cash by winning the Southern 500 in what year?
83.
What was Bobby Hill and Jr.'s car number when he won at Talladega in 1986?
8.
The popular show Antiques Roadshow began in what year?
85.
Houston Astros Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan wore what jersey number?
Oh, for Pete's sake.
No, for Nolan's sake.
11.
And how many Formula One wins did Mario Andretti have?
6.
All right. Kid?
That was awful.
Kid?
I don't think I got it. I think I got maybe one of those right.
It's not.
I think I have one. I want a rematch with boy band trivia or something.
I can
boy
tell you
band
this,
throwbacks.
it's not looking good for Kid Cruz.
No, I'm toast. man.
But Daryl does the math around here, so we'll bring in producer Daryl Smith. Hey, Daryl.
Hey.
How about this show?
Hey, let me tell you something. We've got something that's never happened on this show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and we'll find out in a few seconds.
All right.
Dave got all 5 correct.
Let's bring up the first question. Awesome Bill became $1 Million Bill when he grabbed the $1 Million RGR bonus cash by winning the Southern 500 in what year? Kid Cruz said.
1989.
And Dave Moody said.
1983.
The winner of that one, or the correct answer was?
85.
1985. Dave Moody gets the first point. He's on the scoreboard. You think you run the table, Dave?
I doubt it. I would bet the mortgage against it.
All right, I wouldn't do that. Question number 2, what was Bobby Hill and Jr.'s car number when he won at Talladega in 1986?
No clue.
Kid Cruz said.
32.
Dave Moody said.
8.
I bet Dave Moody can even tell us who the sponsor and the car owner was.
Sure, it was the Miller number 18.
Yes, it was. Stravola Brothers. Dave Moody gets it exactly right. He is up 2-0. This was kind of the off question. The popular show Antiques Roadshow began in what year? Kid Cruz said.
1995.
And Dave Moody said.
1985.
The correct answer was.
1979.
And Dave Moody with a 3-0 lead.
man.
He's already won the game. Just how bad will it be, Kid Cruz? Houston Astros Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan wore what jersey number? Of course, the folks of Houston have the terrible flooding right now. All our thoughts and prayers go out to those folks. But Kid Cruz said.
3.
And Dave Moody said.
11.
The correct answer was.
34.
34. Neither was close, but Dave gets the point there. It's 4-0, and that brings up our final question. American Mario Andretti won how many Formula One races? It was the most any American won in Formula One. Kid Cruz said.
1.
Dave Moody said.
6.
The correct answer was.
12.
12,
Oh,
and
wow.
Dave Moody has shut out
All 5.
Kid Cruz. It's the first time that has ever happened. A donut on the board, Kid. What can you
Now
say
I
for
feel
yourself?
bad.
No,
I
that's
feel bad
fine.
now.
That's fine. My consolation is I get to listen to you on the radio again because I just got my free Sirius turned back on. So we all win.
Yeah, Dave, how many straight days has it been we've heard you on a radio if we own one?
I don't know how. I know what the total is because I've been on. I've been on without a day off the last 2 weeks, and I've got 4 more without them. So it's like a 62-day stretch of every single day on the radio, or at least working to be on the radio.
Good work if you can get it.
I'm not proud of that.
That's all right. We need to send you over some Creekstone burgers. You need to have a cookout and celebrate once you finally get a weekend off. Hey, what are you looking for? What car are you looking most forward to seeing in person on the racetrack at Darlington?
I'll tell you what I'm looking for, and it's an Xfinity car. Dylan Lupton is rolling out the Rainbow Warriors Jeff Gordon's team on his number 24 car. That's a cool race car.
Yeah.
Sam Bass designed it. Always been one of my favorites. I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be fun to see. Hey, Dave, thanks so much. Hey, who do you have on the show today? Any big guests on Sirius Speedway?
Chad Canales is coming on with us today. It's TV day. We'll be at the FS1 studios for our weekly get-together with the gang from NASCAR Race Hub. So we're going to have a good fun time today, I guarantee you.
Yeah, very nice. We'll have to check in both on television and on Sirius. All right, Dave, you're done. Thanks so much.
See you, boys. Thanks.
There
Bye.
he goes. Dave Moody.
Moody saved the day.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
What happened, dude? You got skunked.
I don't know. I'm
This is a dark day in crew call history for many reasons.
I think I might retire. I think I might just be done with the game from here on out.
And we'll
I'm
leave
done.
it to that.
I lost and I quit.
Thanks to Josh Turner for getting down low and telling us about fishing and hunting. Thanks to Dave Moody for being on the show. Thanks to Robbie Mays and Daryl Smith for putting it all together. Most of all, thanks to you. Catch us every Wednesday, noon Eastern Time, MRN.com. It's Crew Call. See ya.
You've been listening to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Stream us every Wednesday at noon on MRN.com or on the MRN app. MRN Crew Call is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, or download it through iTunes or Google Play. MRN Crew Call is a production of the Motor Racing Network. Goodbye.